we're going to adjourn the workshop and go into regular session. The only thing that we have to do there is to approve or disapprove or discuss the minutes from last time, which I handed out to everybody. We will do that at 7. And once we get through that, we'll adjourn that and go back to workshop. Just to remind everybody on these potential changes on the zoning regulations, we do a workshop to line drafts out of the regulations. And then once we're happy with those drafts, then at some point, I'm hoping next month or at the latest in June, we will vote on those potential changes to the regulations. So the committee will vote. They won't hear it, but they'll vote. And if everybody agrees to what we've got laid out, then we take that to public hearing. So we print that for the paper, we publicize that as much as we can to get everybody to that public hearing so that we get input from the public. Then we take that input from the public, we go back in our normal session, and we decide if there's anything we want to change based on what we heard from the public, vote on it again, and then send it to the county commissioners. So there's really just one time for the public to give their input on the change, and that's at the hearing. Even though we're voting on proposed change, we're not taking input then until we have the hearing. Any questions on that? Okay, so I think before we go into regular session in the workshop, we'll start on the energy and infrastructure regulations. What's that? Sure. I was going to lead us to the pledge of allegiance first. Why wouldn't you?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, so I handed you a red line draft of the infrastructure regulations, and the pages aren't numbered, which we'll get to next time we do it. But we're to the point, let's see here. Yeah. We're at 25-502. It's about the 10th page back. So let everybody get to that point. We discussed some of these last time, but like 25, 506, 507, and 508. And I'll get into details on those once we get there. Okay, so generator testing notice, pretty simple. Just the idea is that we notify residents within a mile of the facility when they're going to test the generators. Just, for noise purposes. Anybody have any changes there? All right, 25-503 operations, narrative and technical submittals. I think all that's pretty straightforward.
Line item T, or 2.
Yep.
Okay.
I done some research on our definitions on the NFPA that's on our first page of this. So on the electrical load study, there is the one of them tests that is for that. 95 or UL 9540 and 9540A. Both of them tests are required, should be required, and it's a national recognized testing laboratory that they have to provide they don't have to provide the zoning administrator of it, but if the fire marshal asks for it, they have to provide that to him. And, you know, I don't know exactly where that needs to go or which one it needs to go, but I think it needs to be in there. Some of them work in coordinates with the other. Like the NFPA 70 is a national electric codes. So the NFPA 72 deals with the fire alarm systems. NFPA 69, this is a code that prevent explosions. So we need to adopt these within this because
So we don't cover that in the definitions,
the definitions are there,
okay?
but it don't specifically say, it's just a definition. It's not within our article.
Okay.
We've got all the definitions there,
So
but
what,
we just haven't placed them within each section where they belong.
got it. So you're
Does that make
suggesting
sense?
on 2, what are you suggesting exactly?
Well, the electrical load study, I think, needs to be the UL 9540. That is for the BESS systems, the battery energy storage systems. That's to demonstrate that they're in compliance. They've got their everything within that container correctly, and the containers are spaced correctly, but it needs to go with UL 9540A, and that requires them to get test results provided to the fire marshal that they have done that code.
Do we define UL 9540 and 95?
We do not define 9540A, I
We got
believe.
9540 though, right?
Right. And the reading I done today, you should do both. It should be like UL 9540 / UL 9540A. Them should coincide with one another.
Is one of them already in here?
The 9540 is, but 9540A is not. It's a different thing.
Okay. We need to add UL 9540A to the definitions,
Right.
right?
Yes.
And then we need to add on paragraph 2,
Well, it's electrical load study prepared by a licensed electrical engineer showing peak and continuous demand, anticipated demand growth over 5 years, transformer switch gears and but I said it should be in compliance with UL.
okay. So just add that at the end of 2?
Right.
Okay. In compliance with UL 9540.
Right. Line 3, the cooling preheat rejection plan. Now, are we going to use that since we're going to try to switch to
What are you on now?
number 3?
Okay,
Are we going to leave that in there? Or are we going to change that to,
we're gonna change that.
that's what I thought.
Well, that's what gonna be my proposal.
Okay.
Now, how come you're changing that?
I've got a proposal here, which will, once we get to it on the next page, changes 25,506 and 25,507. About the cooling system.
Right.
You know, we talked about last time, one of the biggest concerns with the water,
Trying to get them to
doing it in
have a
closed.
closed loop system
Right here.
so they're not using massive amount of water.
So I'm gonna hand out something on that real quick.
So 3 and 4 will be probably changed.
How about if they have their own water source?
Let's come back to that too. I don't think under what I'm proposing that it's gonna be a concern. It's gonna be a dry, closed, in-loop system where they just have to charge it once. That doesn't mean that we can't, we should do away with 4 though.
Well,
They
an
wanna
estimate,
change 10,000 gallons per day.
that's a lot of water.
Yeah. So. So I would just scratch that last sentence.
For larger water users.
Yeah.
Well, so you're scratching that 10,000 gallon part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just, oh, you're gonna say greater than, you're gonna take that part out?
Yep.
Okay.
Keep that in mind though, as we go through this next deal, be sure that we're comfortable with that. About 5 and 6.
5, the emissions and fuel storage information include fuel storage volumes and type, diesels, natural gas spills, and provision. Anyway, that needs to be in compliance when NFPA 30.
Okay. So just add in compliance.
Yeah, and I don't think NFPA 30 is in our, it's not in our definitions either, so that's gonna have to be added in there.
NFPA 30.
Yeah. So no, it's not. Neither is 70.
So add NFPA 30 and add NFPA 70.
To the definitions, yeah.
Okay. Go to 6. So on to 25-504, the maintenance plan.
Mhm. Yeah, we've got NFPA 30 in that. Oh, we're not. We're not that far yet. Jumping the gun.
Any changes, 25,504? 25,505.
So the NFPA 30 is in that. We don't have a description of it
Okay,
in our definitions.
okay, I've got it, yeah, got it to add. Okay. Let's get into the water deal. So I've got a couple proposals here. They're on the same page. So we're gonna start with number 2. And these are drafts. I had them as drafts, but the copier didn't pick it up. So I wrote on there. One more. Sure. That's okay, right?
Otherwise, you're going to be speaking Chinese up there.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so
We're on 2.
we're on 2, the one in the upper right-hand corner. Everybody get one? Everybody get one?
Yeah.
Okay. So the idea here, like we spoke last time, is to require any of these large technical facilities to use a limited amount of water, because that's one of the biggest concerns. And this outlines that. The purpose there would not be included in the regulations, but 25,506 and below will be. So we're requiring they utilize a closed loop liquid cooling system utilizing dry cooler rejection technology. So the idea with this is the cooling medium must remain fully contained within the system. So there's no discharge and they don't have to bring on new liquid either.
I heard something this week about that, and I guess they can only run that coolant so long through that system, and then they have to change it more or less.
Probably like antifreeze in your car, right?
Right. So what are they going to do with that stuff once they,
Well, that's something we need to consider then.
you know,
That makes sense,
I don't know what's in that stuff.
right?
Well, they'll surely have to test it. I mean, if there's anything hazardous, then it'd have to be treated as such.
They say some of that stuff can't be removed by circulating through a filtration system. Now, I don't know if this is true or not. Just, this is just hearsay stuff. So I don't know.
Well, certainly wouldn't hurt to add something in there in that regard.
Something if coolant should be removed, should be considered a hazardous material or removed off site, or I don't know.
Well, you really don't know if it's hazardous, do you?
know.
Well, I think it would just need to say that it would need to be tested and disposed of in a proper disposal.
According
facility.
according to the Kansas,
Yeah, whatever it is.
Kansas
Yeah.
law.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it would be the federal and and the state.
Yeah.
So any coolant removed,
You would think being closed loop, there wouldn't be anything in it, but evidently there is something in it.
Well, after it runs through that piping or whatever it runs through for
Well,
a
if it
while,
If it
there's,
goes to breaking down the properties or whatever it is to start with,
right,
it's liable to become something,
yes.
you know.
You don't know what kind of piping it's in or anything else.
so any coolant removed from the closed loop system must be tested. And disposed of. There might be wonder if there's a Kansas regulation on that.
No, I bet there's a federal one. Don't know.
So just say, state and federal standards.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I've got. Number 8, any coolant removed from the closed loop system must be tested and disposed of in accordance with state and federal standards. Would laws be better? Standards.
I'd say laws. What do you think, Daniel?
Sounds good to me.
I like the. As long as they follow the KDHE rules on,
What's that?
it says as long as they follow the KDHE rules on getting rid of
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
I was trying to look up what kind of stuff they put in them, but it wasn't giving the right answer.
Okay. Now this is important because this is gonna, this could keep somebody from putting a facility here, and it could, if it's too stringent, and then it could, the public may not be happy with it either, but I think it's a pretty good standard for us to consider. So let's just be sure we're looking at all of it. We're not missing anything. Any other ideas? Okay. So how you think with?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
So what if one of them companies came here like Power and Light did and say, okay, we'll build a lake for our water usage?
No, I don't think that meets these standards.
What I'm
It's not closed.
So if
So
they
then
don't,
we could still go back and change this
Good, sure.
if that proposition was made.
Sure you could. Under the CEP. Yeah.
You know, that's the reason they had to build the power plant, right? Was because for them 2 units, they had to have a water source. Okay. I'm good because we could come back and change that.
but, okay, look, how about if they build it and they get a pumping permit out of the river
I don't
to use the water out of the river?
I don't know if we want to do that, Brad. I think that's what stopped them in Miami County. they were gonna use enough water, we wouldn't have had any trickle down of water.
Yeah, but
down Lacine.
the thing is they're only gonna, the Kansas Department of Water and Resources isn't gonna give anybody enough of a permit that it's gonna affect anything downstream. But if they've got a grand plan how they can pump so much water out of that river on a daily basis, hold it in a retention pond, and use it and only use their daily allotments. I get all that and I understand all of it, but what I don't want it to get is to where we get so much regulation that everybody's like, oh,
That's true. Yeah.
we don't want to go down there and try to talk to these guys because they're already trying to figure everything out before we've even came in and made a
We
proposal.
don't want to regulate ourselves out of contention.
Right, right. Good point.
And believe you me, there's enough water goes down that river that if we lost enough to feed the Ogallala, it'd be fine.
Yeah, I think this is just setting the bar. And
Yeah.
then,
Well, and hey, I don't know anything about cooling towers, closed loop systems, whatever. I just don't want to get so many regulations in there. Because eventually, still, if, and just so I understand, company comes in here, makes a proposal and needs a CUP. Ultimately, it's still up to us to say, hey, this is what we want to see. And how are you going to do your cooling? And if we don't like it, we don't pass this conditional use permit. Right? I guess.
Well,
yeah,
we're not the final say on that. The commissioners are above us.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the reason we're here.
Well, and that's why I could see why you need some pretty strict regulations in there, but I just don't want to get it to where we're getting so much stuff in there that it runs somebody off. Whether it's this or anything, you know.
Sure. Well, that's the whole idea with comprehensive plan is try to develop the industrial areas that we have. So putting too many regulations on that could hamper us in the long run. We have to have some, but like you said, maybe you limit it to, okay, they can pull water out of the river if it's above a certain level to fill their retention ponds.
And that's something that would
You know,
come
you don't
from
want
the
to-
state.
For they're out and, you know.
And I have seen it before where it's been low enough that they won't let people with permits on that river pump the water into their duck lakes because there's not enough of a flow.
right. Right. So is that really feasible? Of course, but here we are, we can't play engineer either.
No.
Right.
I mean,
Well, there's a set of pumps down there right now that they can fill that lake out there at the power plant with.
Yeah.
is that where they get it?
Yeah. Well, they can.
I've only seen it one time, but
I've only seen it
in
one
12,
time.
they turned them
Yeah.
on. It goes right through.
Yeah. I remember when they put it in. Yeah.
So I know that others have thought of that, and that's what made me think of it.
Sure.
Well, if anybody puts one of them deals together, they're gonna have a staff of engineers. So,
And attorneys, so they can go deal with the Department of Water.
there you go.
All right.
But
We don't want it's, you're weighing it, right? On one hand, we don't over-regulate it. On the other hand, we don't want to just have it wide open.
right,
You're gonna have, you have to set the bar, may change that bar. But it's worth consideration. I understand what you're saying.
well, and I haven't seen anything that you've said or anything that's in here that's concerning to that point yet.
Yeah. Well, the next one's
Take-
a pretty big one too, but it's a concern as you read about these things going in across the country, the concerns I'm getting when I read, if I'm reading the right thing, is water and power.
Yeah.
So the next one concerns, so before we go on to the next one, back on the previous page under 25,503, is that paragraph 3? Does this new regulation address your concerns there?
Basically, have this replace number 3.
Right, have this replace number,
Yeah.
though, you're good with that? So have this replace paragraph number 3 and also replace 25,506, 25,507. Okay,
Can you make those into one section and just have this page for that one section rather than have 3 different sections? Or do you need 3 separate sections?
I think we need 3 different ones. I mean, we can do anything we want. If you think that makes more sense.
I just see all 3 are dealing with water. And they're all 3 water sections, so I didn't know.
So you're saying combine 506, 507?
506 and 507 and then number 3 on 503.
Well, number 3 is easy. We just scratched that.
Okay,
So 503 is no longer in there.
all right.
Well,
No, I'm sorry,
Number-
number 3 under 503. So you're saying combine 503, 506, and 507.
Just put the cooling together, nothing else.
Yeah, okay.
But if it doesn't make sense to put them together, you need to have these sectioned out, it's okay.
Yeah, I don't think it,
I think your cooling and water consumption would be together. I don't know. I'm like you. I don't know if we don't put it all together.
well, I can see what you're saying. I'm not 503 though. 503's also got operations, staffing.
Sure.
Yeah, that one's separate.
Yeah, so leave 503 with the exception of paragraph 3.
Right. And then
And then
506 and
combine
507,
506 and 507. Okay,
because you got it documented out real well with
Yeah.
this paper.
Well, in your new deal on the 25,507 and number 4, water consumption limit and water use estimate and source are about the same thing, are they not?
so what are you saying, Hal?
Okay, if you look at your new draft, what
Okay.
you're proposing in 25,507,
Yeah,
line item 1
okay,
and line item 4 in 2503 are basically talking about the same thing.
yeah,
That's why we scratched it from 503.
yeah, so
Well,
you're saying scratch
Scratch
four.
paragraph 4 out of 503
I agree,
Because they are talking about the same thing.
yeah,
On,
on 25,503 on,
yeah,
on,
but on
on
507,
1, we'll leave it in.
all right, just so I get an idea. A megawatt hour,
Right.
how many megawatt hours does the power plant make?
The power plant, if both units are running, full bore is 1,500 megawatt.
All right,
I don't know what their water usage is.
so 15, say that again, Hal?
1,500 megawatt.
Okay,
An hour or period or 24?
Well, I mean, that's what the base load is, 1,500 megawatts. That's what they call how much they're putting out. And I don't know if that's considered, I think that's considered an hour. I don't know. I would have to look that up. Daniel could probably find it.
and we're
I don't know
saying
how they justify
in
that.
this, 1/10 of a gallon per megawatt hour. What?
so
I mean, you can carry that in your water jug in a day. That's not very much.
Right.
No.
that's the idea with a closed loop system, I think.
Here again, I don't know anything about that, so I can't. Well, you know,
I know they use a lot of water at the power plant, a lot of water,
Sure,
but it's recirculated back into the lake. You know, all that water that goes through the tubes, you know, that whole thing's full, that whole boiler's full of water.
1,600 times 24 hours. So it's 38,400 megawatt hours per day. So it's 1,600 per hour.
So it's 1,500 an hour is what they're putting out. Does it say what their water consumption is, Daniel?
Yeah, but we're talking,
I know we're not talking, right, apples to apples and oranges to oranges, right.
But that'd still be, they could still use 150 gallons an hour here. The way that the 1/10 of a gallon is. That, well, not this one,
No.
but
I mean,
the power plant.
yeah, that's a power plant. It's not,
Yeah.
They use as a closed, it says it's a closed loop recirculating 400 to 600 gallons per megawatt hour
Okay.
is what they do.
So if they use 400 to 600 gallons per megawatt hour times 1,500, is that right?
For 24 hours.
What this means in real terms is they use about 6 to 12 million gallons a day.
That's the reason they had to build a lake.
That's 250 to 500,000 gallons an hour
That's in a closed loop system?
with the recirculating with the lake. And it says most of it's lost to evaporation through the
Through the what?
towers, cooling towers.
Where did that 0.1 gallon?
I pulled several different, looking at it. It's been used in other regulations.
Okay.
We can certainly change it.
It asks at the bottom if they wanted me to compare the water usage to a data center of the similar power demand.
Sure.
That thing's smart as hell.
Heard you talking about data centers.
If they're pulling 1,500 megawatt,
Data center air cooled is 50 gallons per megawatt hour. Water cooled is 200 to 1,000 gallons per megawatt hour. So they'd go through 1.2 to 7 billion gallons a year.
If it was one that required as much power as what that plant makes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
without a closed loop system.
Which that would be
well,
that'd be a big one.
I think, and you guys slap me if you think I'm jumping the gun here, but I have seen several territorial or deals about talking about the data centers producing their own energy, have their own water source, like you said, the retainment ponds or whatever, and making them use that. So they're not borrowing from everybody else's water. They're not taking away from our electricity.
Right.
So do we go in that direction?
Well,
I think so.
I think if you're gonna get the people behind it, they've gotta stand on their own. You can't, because if you look at the arguments on data centers, it's because there's such a load on the infrastructure.
Right.
Well, hey, they've got the ability to stand on their own with lots of different technologies, whether it be power generating or not. And then we've also kind of started down that path with making some of our setbacks so big. They're going to have to own a piece of ground.
Right.
Right.
And if they've got the ground,
They can have a lake.
they'll own a lake.
Yeah.
Or buy a piece of ground that's already got a lake on it. Different things. But I think to get the public behind it, you're about going to have to, they're going to have to kind of stand on their own.
I think so too. I agree with
And I think that's what we should be doing, is trying to push it that way.
you. Right, and I think that's the spirit behind
Yeah.
this. is-
Yeah, I think it is too.
Now, that doesn't mean somebody comes in here and shows us how they can stand on their own differently, because we're not engineers.
Right.
Well, then that's up to the committee to accept or deny the CUP.
Well, we've still got to after we get this job, we're still gonna have to go to public hearing and have to hear what everybody thinks about it.
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely.
What we've come up with.
Yeah, right.
And
Okay.
I don't know what to do about it.
Let's, I've got a question mark around, first of all, we're gonna make this all 2506. 25506.
Okay.
And then I've got,
Watermelon.
under paragraph 1, I've got a question mark. We may want to come back, revisit that consumption.
So we're gonna delete 25,507,
Just the number.
just a number.
Yeah.
So you're gonna put cooling system requirements and environmental performance standards? Okay. So that'd be a backslash there.
Could we just put some verbiage in there for the cooling system and the environmental standards to be discussed at time of application? See what their plan is before we make our grand plan of what we're gonna make them have to do.
I don't know if that bites you in the butt or not.
I think it might.
I'm with Brad. I mean, I hate to just nail the door shut.
Right.
Nobody even wants to look.
Which I don't think we've done that yet here.
No, but I think we're.
But-
Yeah, it's not like
Close.
we're coming completely out of left field. This is being done.
And you've done some research on that. A lot of it being done.
I can't tell you how many it's involved. But that'd be something
See,
to easier to
get that thing going down there. How many closed loops? Get that thing going down there.
Don't get him up on the big screen.
We're gonna get.
He's like our
might
little,
embarrass them.
he's our little computer.
Okay, so I got a question mark around, we've made it 25506. He's doing some research on it.
Okay. Question mark on 1.
On number 1, we can always come back to that. So the next one, well, let's get through the maintenance plan.
Where you at now?
So I'm on 25-504. Should be on your next page.
Oh.
504.
Okay. Maintenance.
Good.
Is that a maintenance?
What are you questioning now?
Well, yeah.
Says the bottom line in Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, Nebraska, closed loop cooling exists, but it's still a minority. Their most water intensive designs are being avoided or reduced.
What about in the country? Dry closed loop.
What?
Dry closed loop's different than just closed loop. Okay, while he's working on that, on the maintenance plan, you had a question, Hal?
Well, does all these fall under a maintenance plan? They don't look like maintenance stuff, but
I'd say it'd be more of a site prep plan.
adverse impacts on quality and quantity of groundwater resources in the area.
Yeah, I don't know if that should be there.
No, that should have been somewhere else.
But it's not under cooling either, because there could be other groundwater issues, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that should have been in a maintenance plan. See, this removal of trees which shall be minimized, this seems like this is a construction deal instead of a maintenance plan. This is a construction plan. The applicant shall amend a maintenance plan describing the operation will mitigate and this is more like you know, when they're getting ready to take the soil up and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, didn't we address some of that?
Well, I thought so. This is what this looks like. Was they're getting ready to move dirt and
That's why I said it ought to be, instead of maintenance plan, it ought to be a site preparation plan or.
right. I think it's supposed to be a construction plan. The applicant should submit a
Well,
maintenance plan.
Yeah,
what
I
you
think,
could leave that just like it is and put in there, site prep and reclamation.
go back to 25403,
Okay.
which is site plan requirements.
It's not giving me a total, or of the, it won't break it down between the cooling, how many of what is cooling system. But it says there's roughly 3,000 data centers here, and about 15 to 25 of them use adopted the closed dry loop.
So it can be done.
Yeah.
Okay. 25 what, Dave?
25-403, which is down on the 6th page. Yeah, that's we'll duplicate some of that.
Yeah.
We've got 25405 is vegetation. Yeah,
I'd
that's,
say you got it all covered in that other
yeah,
stuff.
I think so too. So I think that somehow.
Right.
5, 4,
Yeah,
6.
I think that needs to go away. Don't you?
I do,
The maintenance plan.
yeah,
We just scratch the whole thing.
yeah, that's what, I think that's what we should do.
Okay.
Guess we already covered 25505.
Hmm.
Now, 25508. On the back page of what we've been working on, which has got 3 in the upper right-hand corner,
The what?
the back page that I handed out, turn it over. There you go.
Yeah.
So this is a draft of what we were talking about on power. And basically, in summary, we're going to require them to produce their own power, not to take it off the grid. I'm not saying how, but
Are we gonna require them to do it?
yeah,
Yeah, how about if Evergy comes in and says, no, we want to sell them the power?
They can't handle it. It's AI. There's no way. The infrastructure can't handle it. The one I worked on down in Texas, there's no way. They don't have the capacity out here.
Again, as I read about these are growing across the country, that's the biggest concern, is they're taking power off the grid, everybody's power's going up, because now it's the supply and demand deal.
So since Lacey is part of the Southwest Power Pool, and we go plumb to Texas, but,
That's why they're generating
think-
their own power, because these power plants just can't handle it. It's just too
right,
much.
and I think that the whole Southeast Power Pool at some point is gonna start starving because they're building enough of these within the Southwest Power Pool that eventually they're gonna starve our power out.
Daniel, how many of them generate their own power?
One in Nevada is doing.
I don't think you're gonna find any right now. It's just started.
Nevada.
Is Nevada,
Yeah.
because it's, there've been new regulations put in place.
What are they gonna do with that one in Amarillo? How they gonna do that big one?
They're making them go to their own.
They're going to their own.
They have to. They're draining all
And
the power.
and it's going to be, natural gas power plants.
They have, I think it's 3 years to convert it over.
Yeah, and they're actually.
So they're gonna let them hook on to the grid for 3 years before they come online?
Trump's Congress just put it in place, so they're grandfathered in technically.
Wow.
So they're kind of pretty well screwed on this deal. They didn't get it grandfathered in quick enough.
I know the one in Louisiana, they're having to pull gas out of Texas.
Are they?
219 miles, and they're going to build 3 new gas-powered turbines to power that one AI center in Louisiana.
This is where they put all the carts before the horses. They didn't think about all this before they did all this. And now these AI companies are taking advantage of it. It's going to cost them a fortune to do all this, but they're going to do it eventually.
So best estimate of the 3,000 facilities, it's 150 to 300 are fully self-powered and 400 to 800 are hybrid. Hybrid.
Okay.
Between their own and
Yeah.
grid.
We could do that. Originally, I had in here like 80%. We talked about that a little last time. About 100% was a better way to go.
Now that the federal regulations are in place, I think we can force the issue that they have to provide their own power, and that won't be an issue with them. They know it's federal.
So like I said, we don't want to chase them away.
No,
Yeah,
but it's
I
federal.
think what Mike's saying, it's the common thing.
It's not like we're forcing them.
Yeah. It's the
Federal government says if you want to build an AI facility, then you have to provide your own power.
I think we're going to learn something around the 4th of July
I was just thinking the
about
exact same.
what's happening down at Parsons on the nuclear deal.
Yep.
Now, I can see them putting a couple of them to generate AI, which would be a fantastic thing to
Sure.
me.
Yeah.
And sell power back to the grid.
Right.
Yep.
And they'll be self-powered.
Have we had any questions about building anything here yet? Or are we just planning in case?
Planning in case,
Okay.
So
I
you
didn't
haven't
know
had
anybody had
any
that.
inquiries?
not anything fixed up.
Because this would be an ideal area down here. It's out in the middle of nowhere, nothing to bother them.
Well, I think part of this, we had battery energy storage system, I think, interested. And they run away.
What happened? They're down south too, weren't they? And they run off down there.
Well, they went to Bourbon County, it's not zoned.
But it was not Fort Scott, but somewhere south of
Crawford.
Fort Scott. Yeah.
Crawford County. All right.
Yeah, there's some of these buying old coal power plants.
Yeah, I've heard of them start some of these old coal power plants back up. Yeah.
It's a good idea.
I mean, who knows what's gonna happen up here now, to our power plant, but, maybe that's an option.
I don't see our power plant going away. I really don't. With all the electric that's needed today, I do not see them taking that out.
What I didn't realize is they don't sell any power here. It's all sold to Texas.
Southwest Power Pool.
Yep. Which just amazes me.
All the power we use around here comes from Burlington.
Well, Burlington supplies Lacine with power, or the power plant with electricity too. Vice versa. If
So
one
that's-
goes down.
So all of it comes from Burlington, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Set of lines that goes through my place is the set that goes all the way to Burlington.
Well,
Yeah, I think that nuclear power plant out there will go away before this power plant up here will go
I
away.
don't think that will go away.
I don't think so either.
I could see them add nuclear to that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me. I think it'd be to their benefit, but I don't know how expensive it'd be.
So what do we say? They have to,
So it's basically there on C. Shall provide on-site electrical generation capacity capable of supplying not less than 100% of the facility's maximum electrical demand.
well, we go down to 90 or 80.
Is there a way to say on here to follow federal guidelines?
Yeah, sure could, yeah. I'm not sure I'm not up to speed on what those guidelines are. Are you?
Well, I know they generate 100% of their own power on the new plants.
Anything new?
Anything new.
Okay.
This is,
So if we just
this
follow
could be
federal
superfluous,
guidelines,
right?
that
Right.
should cover us. That's not putting any new additional regulations on them.
I say we better look into the federal guidelines
Right.
so we can
Right.
fight that.
You want to put a question on C?
Yeah.
Look into federal guidelines.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be easy, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, that way it's nothing on us.
Right.
Right.
Of course, most of them are wanting to do it because they can actually sell power back to the grid.
Right.
So
I think D is good.
And F addresses the exemptions, which I don't think really gonna come into play, but just to make sure we're not penalizing anybody else.
Be nice to get a car plant to come here, but I don't think that's ever going to happen
Got a plan?
because they use a lot of power.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay, so we'll look into the federal guidelines for number C there, or paragraph C. Otherwise, we'll scratch 25.508.
we are going to scratch 2508 or we're not for right now.
Well, just the original one, which is pretty short. That takes us to 25.509. See if we can't get through that, and then we'll dismiss and call the regular meeting to order. Any comments on that? 25,509?
I just have a question on that. Who do
Okay.
we have on staff to read these reports and understand them? Do we have some kind of engineer on staff on the county that can read those reports and understand them?
Good point.
I mean, you have to provide the reports, but if you
Sure,
don't know what they
yeah.
mean,
It's Chinese.
yeah.
Not to my knowledge, we don't.
I didn't know if we had any kind of engineer on staff or not.
Not anymore.
Well, I know we've contracted engineers,
I don't think Jesse's qualified to read them, is he?
so
Something to think about
I'm sure
in
there's
the
probably
future.
someone who can send them to state level maybe.
Don't we have an engineer? We do have an engineer. I remember them sending stuff to an engineer.
We've outsourced engineers.
An outsourced
Yeah.
engineer. Could check that stuff, right?
So we have somebody could understand it, but I
Right.
wouldn't be able to understand it.
Sure.
Well, that might be something we have to, yeah. So you want to adjourn?
Okay, so we're gonna adjourn the workshop. Anybody need a break?
Yep, let's take 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes, we'll call the order of the regular meeting.
How'd you fare last night?
Oh, pretty good. I mean, we didn't have much, a little damage, not much.
How about you?
I
Call the regular second Tuesday meeting of Planning and Zoning Committee to order. The only thing we really got to do is look at the minutes from the March 31st meeting, make any changes and approve or deny them. So I handed those out beginning of the meeting. I've looked them over. I don't see anything we're missing, Connie. You usually find something. Anybody got any changes or,
I wasn't here, so I don't have any comments.
okay?
I do have just a question.
Okay,
Is Thomas Yoder, is that gonna be a, public butcher shop or just a custom processing plant?
No meat counter, just a custom process.
Custom only, okay. Take in half or a full beef or something like that?
Right.
Okay. I was just curious.
okay, do I hear a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second.
Moving second, any discussion? All in favor of approving the March 31st minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no? Okay, they've been approved. Any other old business that we need to discuss? All right, seeing none and no new business, I move that we adjourn.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Okay, now back in the workshop. Okay,
That reporting, inspections, and compliance.
yep.
Do we need to add all them NFPAs to that?
Because you got them back there in the first part of it,
Well,
that
that,
they have to apply, they have to.
right. Right. So I
So
don't know if that's,
Did you reference it back to that?
well, there were some that, I hate to go back to that again, but back in there, there's a there NFPA 855 for the battery energy storage systems. This is a completely thing for all battery energy storage systems only. So what I read today, it combines, it should be combined with NFPA 70, 72, and 9540A for thermal runaways and stuff like that. So that's specifically for the best. Since we've got, we're going with Bitcoin mining, the data, and the BESS. I don't know the best way to do that because we haven't separated the BESS systems out from anything else. There is some special guidelines for that. Like I said, I don't know.
Yeah, so I think if
I mean, if you think we're good, I'm
I
good
think
with it.
we've addressed it earlier. I mean,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
is there a specific we didn't address that we should be including in here?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if because that particular code would not be a code for a data center or a Bitcoin mining system. It's only for the battery energy
So
storage
what code is
systems.
that? You've got
The NFPA 855. But we would have to go back to where that was wrote back here, that it also needed to work with NFPA 70, 72, and I don't think we have that back there. I just wanted to catch that.
What's
before.
855 say? What is it?
It's in the descriptions.
Well, in the definition, can you just put an asterisk and make reference to this applies?
Standard system.
Oh, in the definitions?
Yeah, couldn't do that.
Well, I don't know. That's something to think about. I thought about that earlier.
You could even say, under 25509, you could break out BES.
Well, maybe where we've got the definitions, where we've got the ULL and the NFPA and the NFP 68, 69, 72, maybe we separate them and said, maybe these standards will be, I don't know how to exactly word that.
Why couldn't you just say this is for everything except the best systems?
Well, see, that 855 is included in there in the definitions. So where all these must be wherever applicable, I don't know. I'm just afraid we're going to miss something here that should be followed, and what them standards are really very important. If somebody is building something, I think them standards, we've got to hold them to a standard. If they're going to build a facility, we don't want some fly-by-night outfit coming in here and not following the code. We want something that's going to be a business that's going to be here for a long time if they've come here.
But that's what 855 deals with, right?
Right. 855 basically deals with battery energy storage systems.
So would that be something you could put in the definition, and then also when they apply for their CUP?
It could be, as long as we don't forget it. But see, it works in coordinates. Any battery energy storage system must follow compliance with the 855, NFPA 70, NFPA 72. And I don't know, we have not addressed anything separate in here for battery energy storage systems.
Well, it doesn't mean we can't.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we can go on, but I think,
And you can put in 25510 and reference just that if you need to. Add one more bracket in there.
25.510.
Yeah, we don't have a 510. Add that in there if you want to do just the batteries only.
Well, wait a minute. We removed 25.508.
Right.
We got an open spot.
We could
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
We could change 25.508.
No, we've got a new 255.
Oh, we do?
We did remove 25507.
I thought we
We
were,
took 508 out. I've got.
No, we got 508 is the number 3 on top of your,
oh, that's right. That's the
and
number
then,
3. Which one did we delete back?
507, 25507.
Yeah, 507. Because,
504 was the maintenance plan.
Yeah,
right.
We took it.
took
We
it
took
out.
that out. We could do it there too. I think we need something specifically for battery energy storage system, not to be picking on them.
Nope.
But I think we need to write
So I'll put
something.
it in there, 25504.
Yeah, I think
So
we can.
lay it out, lay it on me. How you want to say? What do you want to say?
Well, I think we need to go back to our original battery energy storage system deal we had, when we first started out.
Okay. So
Original plan.
25504 is not going to be BES
Yeah,
requirements.
right. Since
So
it,
what you're saying is, when we came up with the BES requirements,
and combined them with the other two.
we're missing that in here.
Right. I don't see it anywhere where we're separating,
Okay.
because there's different guidelines that they have to follow than what you would have on a basic building with an AI center in it.
Okay.
we're crypto mining something, because the battery energy storage system can have runaway electric. Once something happens in one, it can transfer voltage over to the next one and cause the next one to start exploding and the next one start exploding. So there's specific standards they have to use to keep a thermal runaway from happening, and that's from container to container to container. Especially with the lithium being, trying to put out a lithium fire with foam and how much foam it takes to put them out. So there's specific guidelines that there are alarms that go off and everything else if something happens. That's what these guidelines are for.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna address in 25-504.
Yeah.
Can you draft that for me and get that
Is
back?
there a national fire guideline somewhere that they have published for fighting battery storage?
We did talk, we've got some of that, we had
sure
some of
there
that
is.
stuff, Brad, in our,
Cause you could just put that in there and say that they must comply with
Sure.
national fire code and firefighting regulations for the industry.
right. And see, we had, when we wrote that first, see, this is from Allen County, and that's just for the battery energy storage system. Just this one thing, it's just for that. So we pulled from it when we wrote ours. And then we decided to combine all these together.
So you're saying we missed that,
I think there's some stuff that we missed that was in that should be,
but to Brad's point, and you just point it to national standards.
well, that's what these are.
Okay.
That's
So
what
that-
this,
So it's
that's
not
what
only,
this specifically,
it's not only 855, but there's others.
right. But this specific NFPA 855 is dealing just with battery systems. And go
Is
ahead.
there a way that through all this, that we can make one statement in the very beginning that anything that they do at the minimum has to meet
All these standards.
in the National Fire Code, the National
Federal and state
Electric
standards.
Code,
Right.
the national,
Yeah, see, that's what all them are, national.
but is there anything that we can put in the beginning so that if we forget one someplace, because I know how thick the National
Oh, yeah.
Electrical Code book is. If we miss something in there, it goes back to that it has to be built by code with these things that we're adding, and then that covers.
That's what I was talking about a while ago. How do we combine all these to where we can say, okay, where our definitions are at, that's what them are.
Well-
That's all them standards. So maybe we pool them together and said, all of them,
And I don't know what there is in the construction of that.
But couldn't you make that blanket statement in the CUP?
Yeah, in the very,
You've got your definitions, and then, CUP, make your blanket statement.
I think he's not the CUP. I think he's talking about in the regulations. Make that blanket statement.
yeah, I don't know where the best place to put it, or both, I don't know. But as long as it's stated in the very beginning,
right,
then really all we have to do is tweak the things that we want to see here instead of how they build the machine.
yeah, we're not quoting OSHA rules or something
Yeah.
like that. I mean,
That would be another one you want in that blanket deal of,
well, I think I pretty much have to.
Well, here it's 25-104.
25-104.
It pretty well says that.
Compliance with other laws and codes and codes.
yeah. So us going back and stating any specific code, we shouldn't have to do that with that in there. And making sure that we get the right code. If we have this statement then just stay away from all that code.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, here it is. NFPA standards referenced herein.
Mm-hmm.
Is that,
Okay.
is that,
I missed that.
You're okay with that?
That's, yeah, I missed that. Of course, that's been quite a
Oh,
while
yeah.
since we went through that. So, okay, that would cover that.
all
So
right,
I'm good.
okay.
I'm good. Forget I ever said anything.
Okay. That's good discussion. Did we get through 509? We did, right?
We did, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
25601.
I'm good with it.
You're the construction guy.
I'm good with it.
Okay.
With that one. 25601.
Anybody else? Okay, 25602, the construction management plan.
Okay, 3, we've got that site prep in there again.
Yeah. I think 3 and 4 both, and 5
I
and
think
6.
we might have we've already covered them, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I mean, wasn't the traffic, wasn't it back there in that one just right before in the maintenance, road maintenance deal?
Yeah, and 601.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're scratching number 4.
3, 4, 5, and 6.
3, 4, 5, 6, because we
Yeah.
dealt with the lighting.
Well, that's temporary lighting, right? I don't know if that was in
Yeah.
that lighting that we had back
No,
there
it didn't say
before.
anything about temporary.
Okay.
Yes, so if you want to put something for temporary lighting,
It's okay then.
So this is installation of temporary security fence. So which one are you doing? Still doing 3?
3, 4, we're stuck on 6 or 5. Do you want to include them?
Well, this is temporary security fencing.
So we're okay with
if
that?
it's temporary, because we did
Yeah.
not cover that.
No,
Okay, so we want to leave 5.
3 and 4.
Okay.
I'm good with the rest.
So 25701 emergency response plan.
Do they have to do that, or does emergency management have to do that?
Does who have to say that again?
it says here how they, how, what they want in here is an emergency response
right?
Right.
plan. Identify procedures. Actually, I think our emergency management and, well, where I used to work had been the fire chief. He would have to go to each one of these projects or whatever, sit down with the management and say, okay, give me a site map, tell me what you got. Then he would draw up emergency response plan.
So do you want me to email this to Randy? I have it over and.
Well, let's, yeah,
I think we still need to put a
Yeah.
plan in place. And then if they ever apply for a cup, then it
Well,
will fall to him.
I think what you say in here is that they must work with the emergency management director to come up with an emergency response and their fire safety.
which is what 5 says, right?
Yeah, and that's what 5 says.
I think,
But as far as them putting something together to bring it to us so that we hand it to him,
right.
he just as well have it in the beginning and,
Yeah. And he's the one that should be signing off.
yeah.
Yes.
So it's almost just
I'd
5.
say if you just put 5 in there, that
Yeah.
covers it.
Yeah. You develop collaboration plans and director of public and fire marshal. But in addition to that, something about approval.
What's that?
Well, if I,
The plan needs to be approved.
needs to be approved by who? Fire marshal? Or what do we don't
Well,
call
I
it
mean,
fire marshal, we call
They're gonna, the fire marshal's gonna be involved in
it-
it.
Right.
I think it still has to come back and whether it's approved by us or the commissioners. Probably by us, and then the commissioners approve the whole thing. Is that how that works?
Well, yeah,
Then it comes
but
back,
we're not we want to see
the plan.
not necessarily the plan. My concern if one of these is sitting in front of me is whether the emergency manager, what do we call him, the fire chief, has approved it.
Yeah. Well, that's what it says, be developed in
It's not saying anything.
collaboration
Yeah.
with.
I think every facility, such a big facility like that, like we do up to the car plants and a lot of the big manufacturing plants, I think they lay out a plan because a lot of times when they call the 911 and they're responding to that particular huge building structure,
They wanna,
they want to be able, they want them to be able to direct them in the direction they need to go. So,
how to make access.
right, and what
Which
to watch
entrance to
for,
hit.
make sure you're not running in a robot cell, you know, and have the robot kill you or something like that. But I think that they use,
Which, I mean, everything in there's fine. I mean, what you've got is stuff that's gonna be covered,
right,
but it's essentially gonna come down to, it's gonna be developed. I guess that's why 5's kind of wrote like it is. These are just some points that you wanna see.
Yeah.
Then at the end, those guys there are the guys that have to put the plan together, bring it to be approved.
Yeah.
and each one of these, such as a battery energy storage, would be completely different than a fire at data center. That can be a completely different deal, completely different product to put out the fire, you know. So,
So we just leave it?
I'd say you could just leave that.
Okay.
you know, we,
It's a little different, isn't it? Decommissioning plan 25-801. Are we gonna require, let's say there is a data center built, let's say it's a 200,000 square feet facility, it's a building.
Which could be gutted and reused for something else.
Right. Yeah, doesn't seem realistic to return it to the way it was before.
I agree with that. And I thought there was something back in there, it says, or its successor. I thought there was something back there that we put in that it couldn't be transferred. Do you remember anything? No, you CUP shall be transferred. Well, that's what I meant. It said or its successors. So, I mean, I don't know if that's even necessary to be in there.
I think the 801
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
not bad to leave it like it is.
What was
A
that?
new tornado?
I thought the door was swinging open on a vacuum.
I think it's overloaded.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm looking at this as if I
The,
was
those that works for me, delivering it back.
county resident.
okay.
And then I would happen to dig into this and see this.
And leasing.
At least that would make me know that if this thing completely went off track. Now,
It's gonna go away.
it's gonna go away,
Yeah,
but we
is that
all know,
realistic?
no. Because there's gonna be something that's gonna be salvaged there that
It's
somebody.
not, yeah, it's not like it's like,
But I guess if it was completely, I don't know.
Well, let's think worst case scenario, it caught on fire and burnt. Or something like that. That could be,
What they ever do on the deal with the wind about them being decommissioned?
well, when they're talking regulations, I mean, that's a different scenario in that you've got a structure there that can't be used for anything else.
And it's.
So they were talking, when they're looking at regulations, they were looking at, taking them down and moving them out, and taking the concrete out.
taking the concrete down.
Doing
Three-
basically what this is saying, but I think this is a different scenario. I mean, if I'm,
Not disagreeing there.
if you build a car dealership, you're not gonna tear the building down.
And resell the building.
You're just gonna repurpose the building.
Can you put an and or an unless in there? This is the scenario that happens unless somebody else comes along.
Yeah.
Maybe we put something in there, all equipment must be removed from the facility. Or something like that.
Yeah, the idea is to Jenny's point, we don't wanna just be sitting there with
This huge building.
huge building and equipment that the county's stuck with.
When they tore down Delco Battery in Olathe,
Yeah.
that was a major.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder who had to pay for that and how that happened, because that place had been there for 80 years. And I guarantee
And all
the
that-
guys that negotiated all that, none of them were still around.
Well, see, and then they built that,
A park and something else.
well, they built a data center on it? Ain't that, or no, that's where they built that new battery plant.
Okay.
I can't
But
think of it.
just,
How about or maybe just repurpose to an approved facility, or repurpose to either you take it back to dirt or you repurpose for another
for an approved.
Approved, for approved.
Yeah. Approved business.
Here I go again. I'm sorry, guys.
There you go, Hal.
Okay, you're talking AI center right now.
I'm talking, you know.
Okay, well, we're talking battery energy storage system with all the sea containers.
Okay.
We don't want to leave all them sea containers there. We want that ground put back the way it was.
Unless it can be repurposed to a viable business. That the county approves.
Yeah, somebody could come in and turn them all into just storage facility.
Well, then we're gonna have to go to our regular regulations and rewrite our regulations on our storage containers in our reg book. Because there is an article right there specifically for sea containers in that would completely have to rewrite. Now, I'm good with that.
Well, is that approved use?
I mean, they could go from battery energy storage to Bitcoin mining.
Right.
Using the same containers. But like I said, we need to go back to our zoning book and look. We're gonna have to rewrite that. If you leave this,
No, I'm not just leaving it as the blank slate. It's gotta be approved
right.
by the county commissioners.
I don't think you wanna mess with the shipping containers because they're coming into the county by truck.
Well, I understand that. But I mean, we do have guidelines in here about them.
Yeah, we do.
And I don't know exactly, remember where
So
it was
we're
at.
allowing it for the best now. How are we getting around the current regulation? Allowing shipping containers for the best with this, right?
That's what I told you when we was starting that. We was gonna have to rewrite that.
Yeah, but don't we reference that in here? Oh, we did.
I'm looking for it.
Okay, so I think the spirit of it, what I'm
I
trying to
understand what you're saying.
trying to get across is, as long as it's repurposed as an approved business, then we should be okay with it.
And it would have to go back through the CUP process.
Correct.
All right, if you put that in there. 802 and 803 and 804. You need that?
I think you still do need that.
Okay, well, when you look at 802, it says cost estimate, updates. I guess they're gonna have to update that regularly.
I would think it
Every
have
5
to be
years.
because you know how prices are changing day to day.
That could get into quite the,
This is asking 5 years.
Yeah.
You could put any number on that.
that's gonna come into every 5 years, a pretty big bidding. Having it bid by,
1615 is your section on your shipping containers.
What does it say?
They are for short-term temporary use as part of a natural disaster recovery or cleanup effort, remodeling, fire, damage, repair, or moving. The number of containers allowed at one time shall be limited to 3, less limited to fewer, or allowed more, like I said.
Depends on how the zone is.
Right.
Say a couple miles north of my house, they use them as a house.
Yeah, they're supposed to be in the lake house. or residential at all.
That's in Article 16. Now, I know them sea containers are used for the Bitcoin mining and the battery energy.
Sure. So what you're saying, Hal, is we need to change,
We're gonna have to change that.
amend this?
Yeah, I meant to go with, somebody comes here or say, okay, they have a data center. Well, they decide to use battery energy storage systems too, which they do within the plant to try to supply their own electricity, say they did get something and they're using all of these together.
I don't understand why you'd have to change the shipping container.
So look at 16-1502, paragraph B. Yep, it's saying they can be repurposed.
And the person's still gonna have to have, a business is still gonna have to have a CUP.
And used as building material.
Yeah, but also it says repurposed as, by adding, storage and modifying the plumbing and or electrical services.
This includes, but is not limited to, storage containers that are modified with plumbing and or electrical services.
So what that's saying to me is that they can be repurposed.
Well, they'll all have electrical services.
And then number 2, it says shipping containers are permitted pursuant to a conditional use permit.
They are located at construction site for the duration of the construction project for a year.
Number 2 is pretty well giving you an open slate. Get a conditional use permit, you can use them for anything. So the battery storage getting a conditional use permit to use them.
But you still got limits on them. How many?
You're gonna get me, aren't you? Where's that?
Number of containers allowed at one time shall be limited to.
But if
Three.
we're allowing them there in the conditional use permit for the storage, or data storage, or the battery storage, it's still a conditional use permit. So the next one that's gonna use them has to use the same, will make their own new conditional use permit. So it's same thing. Same thing,
Right.
same but different. But
I think what Hal's saying
We've got a limitation on how many of them you have.
No,
Two. Yeah, it says 3.
in the original guidelines, but then we're doing a conditional use, so the conditions change, so that's why it's the CUP, because we're giving them the option to have more under that. As soon as we make a new CUP, if whoever buys it, they have to get a new CUP,
I see
and
what you're saying.
it's the same.
So do we add something in our original that says unless,
I don't think you have to add anything to it.
I thought it
It's gotta
said
be a
it.
CUP.
I thought it said, when he just read it, it said something about a CUP, an additional CUP.
Yeah, but it says shipping containers are permitted pursuant to a conditional use permit.
So if the next person that gets it buys it and they don't want to do the conditional use permit for them, then we make them take them out and return it to normal. If they want a conditional use permit, then we just see if they qualify for it and then
It'd
move
be,
on from there.
it may be something, well, Jacqueline will look at.
yeah, I just want to make sure we get it right.
Yeah, I get it. Glad,
I'm not
I'm glad
trying
you're
to be
looking at
hard
it
to
that
get
way.
along with.
No,
I just
I'm
wanna
glad
make
you're
sure
looking at it that
we
way.
don't miss something and get it right.
Okay.
I want to make sure this matches this.
No, everybody needs a hall monitor.
Huh?
I said, everybody needs a hall monitor. Keep us in line.
That's right. So I'll go back to ask her about that.
Okay.
If we're waiting for an answer on that, does that mean we skip through 804 and go to 805?
We haven't finished 801 yet.
Well, I thought we just said that all that, the next,
So I think we need to add something into 801 about repurposing the site. You know, that applies to
Well, it says or its successor. So I would assume if somebody goes out of business, that would be the successor that's gonna take it over.
yeah.
They're gonna come in and get a conditional use permit. We're gonna go back to this.
Okay, so how about if we say or its approved successor?
well, and if the successor doesn't have to go with the CUP and could take the containers out.
So,
Forget about them containers. Let's just talk about a building.
Right.
yeah. Well, it says remove all facility equipment. Maybe we take the structures out of that.
Well, but how about if it's another company that comes in and wants to buy the data
Right.
center
Yeah.
and they sell the whole thing to them? You don't want them to have to take it out.
Right.
They would still have to come, if they sold it, they'd still have to come get a new conditional use permit.
Right. And that, I mean, that's what,
Leave it as is for the time being while they're getting their use permit. Plans.
So say,
Well, I don't know about that.
Well, I'm sure if there's somebody's gonna buy it, they're gonna come in and make sure they can do it before they actually go through with the buying it.
I would think, yeah.
If they're a savvy business professional.
so you got a John Doe AI center, and then, of course, he decides he don't want it anymore, and he sells to Jane Doe. So she's gonna have to come back and get,
Yeah, but she's gonna
Now, the
need to
conditional
know
use permit
that,
don't transfer.
yeah,
Permit don't transfer.
she's
Right.
gonna need to know before she buys it that she's gotta come get
right,
approval from us and then,
right,
so,
yep.
So I think if we just put an and or in there, you're either gonna do this or we're gonna leave it like this and somebody else is gonna take over. And we have some kind of verbiage in there. To leave that.
Yeah, I think we need to cover building, say it is a building. To leave the door open for it being repurposed for another.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. When you got something underneath 100,000 square feet building, I mean, there's absolutely no reason to tear it down unless it's contaminated.
So you say all applicants for CUP shall submit with their site plan? No, you can't really say a decommissioning plan and or a repurpose plan because they don't know what's gonna. In the beginning, you,
Don't run like it was a fumbled football with that.
yeah, right. Yeah, this is getting in the weeds, isn't it?
Well, on 801, this is just when they're getting their CUP, so we don't even need to cross that bridge there.
No, we're asking them It's
Right,
supposed to
and
be-
they should come in and say, this is what we're gonna do, because we're gonna return it back to what it was. So we don't need to make that preparation there, right?
No, I think we do. I don't think it's fair to ask a business to build a 200,000 square foot building with the idea that if they leave, they're gonna have to take it back to dirt.
Okay,
That's
so
what
we can
we're
take that
asking.
part
That's what we're asking.
Take the complete decommissioning out.
No, take the minimum of 6 inches, blah, 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 blah.
Well, it says,
Well, the decommissioning rules have gotta be in there somewhere.
Right.
Well, we can have the rules, but then they've gotta be able to say, if they're building this huge building, that we would have the option to sell this building with the land.
Or they could sell it.
So
with
I
the
don't know why
equipment
we're locking them in if you're gonna have 6 inches of topsoil, and you know what I mean?
Right.
Why can't we take that part out?
Okay, so yeah, maybe that's what you said. If not able to repurpose, then we need a
Decommissioning plan.
decommission
Yes.
plan. Okay. Still gonna take a little work, but, so all applicants for CUP shall submit a repurposing. Let's see, all applicants so submit a decommissioning plan if the facility and equipment cannot be repurposed.
if deemed
Deemed unusable.
What was that?
if deemed unusable or repurposable, able to be repurposed.
Well, yeah, you could just, right there at the end of, to its pre-construction condition, or a plan of, or, a,
Repurposing plan.
yeah, the repurposing, and then whatever you'd say for the next ideas, whatever.
I think when that decommissioning plan all came about, it was the thought that, say, a company would start something here and then just abandon it
Right.
and leave the
I
county
don't need to say approved.
with the,
repurposing plan.
with the tax dollar burden of tearing it down or whatever. See, that was the whole perspective of the decommissioning,
But,
so that it didn't hold the county on the hook.
yeah, but they're gonna own the land.
The,
The
Yeah, the
company,
company.
whoever's gonna do this is gonna come purchase a piece of land.
Yep.
They're gonna do this construction on the piece of land that they own,
yep,
that we have told them how they've gotta build it.
Yeah.
To an extent, or to some guidelines.
Mhm.
If they get halfway through it and it's not completed, it's theirs. I mean, they're a piece of land, they're partially completed project. For whatever reason they don't do it, there's probably gonna be a sale on the courthouse steps. And somebody's gonna buy it at a
scrap price.
very good discount. Then it's that guy's problem.
Because they wouldn't be paying taxes, so it's.
Now, if we were putting it on a piece of land that the county and the taxpayers owned, then that would be a different scenario. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. It makes a lot of sense.
Because this is not a lease operation.
Yeah,
No.
and
And I think the decommissioning was a lease thing.
yeah.
We were talking about a lot of
Right,
leases.
And just think of any typical business, same thing. Is the county required a decommissioning plan for
No.
for any facility that's built out
So
here?
maybe we don't even need a decommissioning plan.
Scratch it off.
But we do need something if to somehow or another say they do have a Bitcoin mining or a battery energy storage system and they decide to pull the containers and stuff, still need to hold them responsible or
Well, and you
bringing
could,
the ground back to
and you could stop it at the end of that first sentence. Right there is enough for anybody that's gonna build something to think twice about stopping the project or, but I mean, at the end of the day, if they build this and they put it online and then they go out of business, it's still all their stuff.
It's an asset, right?
because we're holding to the industrial property. So they're gonna purchase that land. They're not gonna, well, they could lease it, I guess.
Well,
But
that,
then we can address that in their CUP.
Yeah. Yeah. So if they purchased the land, it'd be totally different.
They go out of business.
It's getting along so good too, Dave.
What's that?
We was getting along so good.
We were.
Until we got to that.
We were clicking, man. Okay, so maybe we need to readdress this whole decommissioning thing.
All the way through.
Yeah,
well, I mean, the cost of tearing it down, what difference does it make to us if it cost him $3 million to tear it down? He's not gonna be able to do anything with it until it's gone
I guess,
or repurposed. Then we still have the option of writing the CUP. I'm starting to figure this out.
all right, so what do you, so now you got to figure it out. What do you say?
He guessed he misspoke.
I'm almost to the point of saying, we don't worry about any Division 8.
I said that just a second ago and everybody laughed.
I just had to say it the second time for everybody to hear.
So,
Well, maybe.
without that, I'm all for reducing
I like-
regulations.
The idea of just the first line of 801, the first sentence.
Yeah,
All
But you
applicants
said-
received shall submit with their site plan submission a decommissioning plan, period.
Well,
describing the procedures which
the whole,
the
yeah, the
applicant
whole sentence.
or successor will
Bold.
remove it.
Successor.
That's
Tells
pretty,
it all.
yeah, and it tells them then,
Yeah,
And it's all on them. And
That
that's-
first paragraph,
It's leased, and then that, we address that in their CUP if it's on leased property.
But you're gonna, before they can get a CUP, they're gonna have to put up a bond or something, a performance bond or something. So you're gonna have money for the decommissioning in escrow. So
now why would they have to put up a bond if it's all their money?
If it's on the leased, so.
it's on
if
the
they-
lease.
Oh, if it's on lease.
And that, I think we need to specify that now. Now that we've talked about this, I think it needs to specify if it's leased ground, then they have to have insurance bond.
I think,
Can we just do that at the CUP?
Yeah,
that's what I think. That needs to be done at CUP.
Yeah.
Well, if we don't put it in here, and of course, we can review, when it gets put in our book, this gets put in our book, and a company's looking through our book, what our regulations are. And then they come here and you tell them, okay, well, you gotta come up with the insurance bond for this much money. And it wasn't, they didn't know about that prior. That might be a deal. They say, well, heck with that.
Oh, I don't understand what do you mean?
well, I think what Hal's saying, by putting it in here, we're upfront. There's no surprises to the company.
About the decommissioning?
No, about insurance bond.
Insurance bond.
If it's leased ground And it's protecting the landowner, basically, that they put an assurance bond that they will decommission this according to, and put it back to the soil.
So then make it project area to its pre-construction condition unless on leased land where an insurance bond would be needed.
There you go. There you go. You get that?
No. Say it again.
When, at the end is pre-construction condition unless, so now I forgot what I said.
Unless,
It sounded good.
Unless on leased ground, then the insurance bond would be required.
unless constructed on a leased piece of property, then an insurance bond would be required.
Financial assurance bond, yeah,
Financial.
of 125%.
Where's that gonna be?
What's that?
At the end of that first sentence of 801.
I don't know if, well, I shouldn't say that. Like the deal that they're going through in the city of Lee Summit, this data center,
Yeah.
that may be on city property.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ideally, the county wouldn't own the land.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Financial insurance.
Okay.
So I think we put it in there and then we'll nitpick it later.
Okay. Oh, so it's already in there. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're saying, so what you're saying is eliminate, so leave 25.801, the first paragraph, first sentence,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and then bottom of that, after pre-construction condition, put the bond for leased ground.
Mhm. And an approved decommissioning plan.
That's just for leased ground, right?
I can see a data center, or not a data center, I can see a Bitcoin mining or a battery energy storage system leasing ground. Because that stuff can be, them sea containers can be loaded right up with all the equipment
Sure.
and move somewhere else.
Sure. So what we're saying is in the first paragraph of 805,
Right,
that's going to be for leased ground only, the bond is?
yeah. Is that the way you think too, Daniel?
Okay.
It's either that or you change some wording in that financial assurance.
And then below that in financial service, you require it throughout the lifespan of the project or? Probably,
Stay on them 31st.
probably leave all that, right?
Yeah. See, we never did find out about the pilot.
What about?
We never found out that if any of these have to pay the county a pilot. The applicant shall agree to a payment in lieu of taxes arrangement.
But isn't anybody clear on the taxes either? I don't think there's a lot of tax abatement on these.
I don't know.
I think they've tried, a lot of them have tried, and that's one of the things that's holding up some of them is that they've thrown out tax abatements. I sure don't think you throw that out and put that here. That's a negotiated thing later down the.
Yeah, and the pilot,
Now, if you start talking about doing, now this is something bad, maybe I shouldn't even bring this up. But if you start thinking about tax abatement, then you may have to go back here and start talking about this decommission.
Yeah.
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 When it's a
Well,
clean sale,
I'm not
it's
clear.
a whole different deal and they're paying taxes.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a long-term type tax abatement.
Like a power plant thing.
Yeah, hey, if you give them a tax abatement till it comes online, that's one thing.
And there's something Kansas just did too. We got a bone up on that.
4 data centers.
Now, I sent a representative a deal about the pilot program. If the best systems and the Bitcoin mining are under a pilot program, I never got a response.
Okay, let me do some research on that. I'll redraft this whole thing. Send that out to
All the way through the 8, 27,
Yeah.
25.
Is there anything big in those last 3 pages that I'm gonna look up on 25806? I'm gonna look up the Kansas new regulations, see if there's any tax deals there. I think if there isn't, I don't think we should even mention
Did mention what?
pilot funds.
No, I don't think so either.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, we're getting close. We'll redo these, our changes, and then the things we're looking into and get that out to everybody. All right. Thanks for being here. We miss the rain.
Mhm.